Hello, Margaret Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Sandhya K, from Sydney, Australia. How are you doing today?
Really good. Thank you, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been kind of a really pretty early late fall winter day here. Been decorating a lot today. So hey, I'm in my element. So I'm awesome. So how's the weather down in Australia?
Oh, it's a beautiful day. I think it's going to get to about 30 degrees. So we're on the opposite side. Very, very
Yeah.
warm weather. It's lovely.
That is so interesting. What I love about this. I mean, two different days and two different seasons, and that is so awesome. That is so very cool. So are you born and raised in Sydney?
Yes, I am. I've lived here my whole life. I can't imagine living anywhere else, although I really do love to travel to other places, but this is my home.
Yeah, that is cool. So how big is Sydney? I know it's a pretty big city, but it has a what kind of population does that have?
Oh, I could not tell you. It's a big city. It's one of the it's I think it's compared to Melbourne, the biggest city in Australia. But I'm
Okay,
not sure the population or anything like that.
okay,
It's a very thriving city though.
okay.
It's very rarely quiet in Sydney.
Yeah, that is good. That's definitely different than Nebraska. That's for sure. At least most of Nebraska. Okay, Sandy, what do you do for a living, or do you have your own business in Sydney? What do you do?
Yeah. So I'm a pharmacist and I'm a health coach. I've been a pharmacist for 12 years. And somewhere along the line, I just decided I wanted to have a little bit more of a holistic health approach. So I became a health coach as well.
Okay,
And I work with people to make health habits so fun. They just become like superpowers and that they become
cool.
so irresistible. You can't help but do them. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay,
I really enjoy bringing an element of fun to health. Which I think like health is quite boring sometimes. Like a lot of people think of
yeah,
it as a
can be.
chore. Yeah.
Yep,
So
yeah, it
I
definitely
think
can be.
attaching it to to fun, and there are actually a lot of different types of fun that you can incorporate into that, and I
Okay,
like bringing that element to my coaching just to I guess just make it much more appealing
okay,
to actually be healthy.
okay. So pharmacist. I'm sure the pharmacist probably was first. What was the you must have been wanted to be a pharmacist when you were younger, or I mean, how was the journey on that, going from pharmacist to also doing the health coaching?
Yeah, so it's been really good. I think they tie in really closely. And I've always loved human behavior.
Uh-huh.
So being a health coach wasn't really a big jump for me, actually. It was pretty much just combining what I love to do in my personal time with what I love to do at work. So
Yeah,
I think
win-win.
it's just, yeah, exactly. I know I can't get better than that. Yeah. So I think with being a pharmacist and a health coach, I've just noticed a lot of the time because I did a lot of health programs through my pharmacy
Oh, do
career
you? Okay,
anyway. Yeah,
okay.
so I've worked with people over like weight loss, sleep issues, and
Oh,
even
wow.
yeah, so even like dealing with new medications and type 2 diabetes and things like that. That involves a lot of lifestyle heavy processes. So
Right.
it's actually not very different from what I do from coaching. It was just that it was obviously in a much more structured setting. And this way,
Makes sense.
I think a lot of the health programs out there, especially in Australia, are very focused on like not action, but like products,
Mm-hmm.
and less on mindset. And I think the
Yep.
mindset part of it is just so important.
Oh,
I just
yes.
really wanted that extra element to be able to, you know, guide my clients to a place where it's more sustainable. Yes, that's pretty
Makes
much the
sense.
background.
No,
Yeah.
and that sounds a lot like the United States. Rather than changing, they just throw something at you to basically cover the symptoms. Or, I mean, sometimes I think it probably does cure. But so, how did you become a health life coach?
So like I said, I've always loved personal development. I actually have loved personal development since I was a child. So,
Okay.
up until 2017, I was just doing it for myself. And then
Okay.
all of a sudden I realized, actually through working with a coach that
Okay.
personal development is like coaching is the actual career of like personal development. So I was just like, oh my God, like there is a way that I could be, you know, changing people's lives and making that difference and watching those like discovery moments,
Right.
but while doing something I love. So I think that was the big
Yeah.
transition point. It was it was never it wasn't really something I fell into. I did a lot of research to become a health coach
Okay.
because I knew, you're working with people, you're working with a lot of people with their innermost desires and innermost,
Right.
landscape. And so I think becoming a health coach was a very conscious choice. And I think because I had already experienced working with people on that level in as a pharmacist, it was it was an easy transition in terms of what I had to do. But I think the exploring someone's inner landscape was definitely so much more exciting
I could see that.
than what I
Yeah.
do as a
Yeah.
pharmacist.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that. So,
Yeah.
so how long have you been a pharmacist?
So I've been a pharmacist. Coming in February, it'll be 13 years.
Okay. Okay. Very awesome.
Yeah.
So, but you said you do programs there too. So is that just through that? Is it your own pharmacy, or are you part of a group of pharmacies? Or
No, I'm actually like I work in a group of pharmacies. Just as I've been a pharmacist manager for the last 6, 7 years. And so it's the health programs are run through the company, but I have this thing where if I'm going to be doing a health program or running it, I want to know everything about it. And I want to know, like, I actually want to have experience as well. Like, some of them you can't. For example, I was working with people with CPAP. I don't have sleep apnea, so I can't obviously experience what it's like to use the machine. But I do like knowing the ins and out of every little bit of the program. So I think
sure.
that helps. That helps with I guess implementing it in a way that's the most holistic it could be. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So okay, where did you find how to be a health coach, and how long did that take to become a health coach?
So I found it through. It took it wasn't really a linear process. So I took a couple of detours. So in 2016 I got married, and then 2017 I kind of did a program that examined all the areas of my life.
Okay.
It's called Life Book. If anyone wants to do it, it's amazing.
Oh,
But
really?
it's not,
Okay.
yeah, so it's not a program where it's like cut and dry. It's a very like thinking based program. You have to think through what you really want. And at that
Wow.
point,
Nice.
um, I think I realized that although pharmacy is something I absolutely love, and I love helping people, and I love watching their health improve, it
Right.
just
Right.
wasn't very holistic. And so, um, when I did that program, I kind of was like in my career section, I was like, how do I combine all the knowledge I have with something that is a little bit more holistic? And that's why I haven't actually transitioned out of pharmacy, because I do believe that having them both side by side is a lot
Uh,
much
yeah.
more like I can
Yeah. You
still
have kind of the
provide all the care from both
right.
ends. Yeah.
Yeah, if yep. No, that's definitely a win-win. If one's not working, maybe with the combined or the other. So so okay, with life with your health coaching, I mean, so how do people get a hold of you? I mean, do you do it around worldwide or just locally or
So I work with people all worldwide. So I have a website, www.sandhyagokal.com.au. I also have a couple of private Facebook groups that I offer through my website, so you can just go through and join through there. And yeah, that's how you reach me. I like I'm a pretty private person. I know that sounds odd
it's all
for
right.
being an international business owner,
I
but
can understand that though,
yeah.
especially in today's world. Yeah,
Yeah, so I think I really like having a close-knit community, and that's what I'm trying to foster with my clients. And I
nice.
think that actually benefits, especially in that fun area. I really want to create the environment of being like playing board games or games with your friends. And so I think
Nice.
that is fostered by the fact that I do only have a very few avenues where you can reach me, because that way you're getting a very close-knit community. You're getting like a group of friends that you could play games with and like.
Yeah, that's not any better than that. So that's how is that how you do? You said you made it fun. Is that how you do making it fun? Is the board games and stuff or
That's part of
okay?
it. We're going to be running a challenge in February with my clients, and I'm happy to open it up to other people as well if they want to join.
Awesome.
But it will be a 100-day challenge for
Oh,
a
wow.
health parameter. It'll be mindful eating and exercise.
Okay.
And that, like, it's going to be a points-based system, easy to join, and it's going to have a little bit of a collaboration side where you can actually, if you get a streak of say 7 days, you can actually pass on like an extra pass to someone
Oh, I love
within the
it.
group, so that you can kind of boost their morale as
That's
well, just
cool.
in
That's
case
really,
someone's
I like
feeling like,
that.
oh, I'm behind or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to be running that in
I
February.
really like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it should be
anybody
fun.
that's so because a lot of times I think if people feel like they're falling behind, they a lot of times it's like the time they might drop out, or something like that. So that really is so cool. So
Yeah.
so um so do you have a YouTube channel where you put up health stuff or like your coaching things, or do you have a YouTube channel? I should ask.
I don't have a YouTube channel, but I will be having a YouTube channel soon. So just to give you some context, I have a 10-month-old baby,
Oh,
and
wow.
she definitely takes up most of my time.
I bet.
Um,
Yeah.
so once she gets a little bit older and she starts, I guess, going to daycare and becoming a little bit more like socially oriented, I'm going to be branching out and doing a lot more of YouTube. I actually love singing. So I'm going to be, my YouTube
Oh,
channel will have
oh, wow.
songs
That's cool.
like me singing as well as health coaching advice and things like that. Because I really love connecting. I like making connections between weird things like games and health and music and like health
I
advice,
think
stuff
that's
like
all
that.
really
I love
cool.
that.
I think. Oh, so what do you like? What do you sing? What do you like to sing?
I like to sing anything. I don't actually have a particular genre.
Okay.
Recently, like I know it's a little bit cliche, but I really like Taylor Swift because a Taylor Swift music
Hey,
concert came
that
out.
that's awesome. So you have seen Taylor Swift then?
I didn't see the actual concert. I saw the
Okay.
movie of it, but it
Okay.
was incredible. Oh my God. Like, it was just, I think
She's
she's just one of
amazing.
the most brilliant minds. I swear,
She
she
is.
just knows what people are thinking.
Oh yeah, she
She
really.
can get into the minds of people. Yeah, it's
I think that's why. What is
uncanny.
she's a billionaire now or something like that? I
She is,
mean,
yeah.
which is amazing. I mean, that just it's like you have to know what your customer basically is thinking and what you need to provide. So
Yeah.
do you perform on stage singing or
Yeah, so
church or
I performed at weddings,
okay,
and I performed a couple of times like for my own purposes and things like that. So I'm
okay.
actually really comfortable singing on stage and singing in front of camera. Um, yeah.
Wow, you wouldn't want me to hear me sing. I may be able to sing, but getting up on stage, oh my gosh, that would be a new thing. So okay, if you like that, then speaking, do you like speaking on stage?
Yeah, so I've never spoken, like done public speaking on stage, but I have spoken in small groups. So I think the most I've spoken to was about 20, 30 people. And yeah, I'm absolutely fine with that. I like speaking on stage. My dream is actually to like speak in front of a conference audience. So I
Oh
would
wow,
really love to do something where it was kind of like a little bit fun, have like a little bit of activities and games and things like that. But each activity would have like a deeper, I guess, mindset activity. Does that make
okay,
sense? Like, yeah.
kind of like a retreat then or something like that, or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So I've been
okay,
to retreats where it's just been incredible. Like you get to do really fun things with everyone. And my retreat would definitely be all games, all fun and games. Like I can't stress that enough.
I think that's good. I mean, okay, so what's your? I know when we talked yesterday, I knew you like Chinese checkers, evidently.
Yes.
So what is some other favorite games, or what is your favorite game to play?
That's a hard one. Right now, my favorite game is a game called Splendor,
Okay,
which is a gem building game. Um,
nice.
I don't even think I have an all-time favorite game. It changes so much, but I love playing all board games. I actually come from a family of board gamers. Like we we
Oh, I
collect board games.
yeah, growing up we did too. I mean, we did that, and then on snowy days we definitely did that. Had some
Oh
coffee,
yeah,
and it was an awesome day. It was just really special. And I think so many people don't really they look at board games as old fashioned. It's like you really should. I mean, there's so much. They're fun. I mean, it
yeah.
really is. So, do you play chess or checkers or anything like that?
Oh, I do play chess. I'm not very good at chess.
That would be
I'm
me.
not a very strategic person. So a lot of the fun thing about like playing games is they all require very different skills and all use a different type of fun. So
True.
there's quite a lot of different fun styles. And you can kind of tell depending on what game people like, what fun style they have. So for example, what's your favorite game?
Backgammon.
Okay, so backgammon, I haven't played that in a long time. That's the one where you have the spikes and then you have to
You
move
have,
the
yeah,
coins,
you
right?
have, yep, yep.
Yeah, so backgammon probably a lot of strategy. It's a very strategic game.
Yep.
So your fun style might be something like you like puzzle solving, you like problem solving, you like seeing different
Yep.
solutions to the same problem and exploring and experimenting.
I do. Yeah, I like to see if that
Yeah.
works. Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so so knowing that can just be like so helpful when you want to apply that for real life
Wow.
situations. So um, I think that is what I take out from games, and that's why I like playing games so much because it gets you into the mindset of the other person without them even realizing.
That is
So
really awesome. I love that. I mean, that's
yeah,
people don't even know they're, that is, I've never thought about that. It's such a great way to do that. So the ones, I mean, how do you know what, I mean, the games are going to be before you coach them? They just, you ask them during like a preliminary thing, or, I mean,
yeah, so in my actual interview, before they even get to the consult call, there's a couple of questions they have to answer, and there's a question which says which are the three games that you most enjoy. That
okay,
just gives me
okay.
a background. I also have a quiz where you can figure out your fun style. So that, I guess, I've made like you get a full report on
Nice.
what strategies you can use using your fun style to actually implement any goal. So it doesn't have to be a health goal; it could be any
Okay.
goal. And for example, I reckon, I'm not typing you, but I'm just saying like based on the information I have, I reckon you would be a socializer. You love talking to people, you love connecting
Hmm.
with people.
I do.
Um, and that social aspect gives you a lot of joy. So I think
It does.
in that sense, having like accountability groups and being able to implement challenges with other people, that is really probably really important to you.
It
So
is.
when you in that's how I run my coaching. So I look at what fun style someone has, what we can use as to make their superpowers, and then we literally just find strategies to make it like to incorporate that fun into whatever the habit they want to make, whatever lifestyle change they want to make, so that it becomes a challenge. It becomes, oh my gosh, I'm playing a game, but I'm getting super like great health results at the
Yeah,
end of it, like it's
wouldn't get any better than that. I mean,
yeah.
oh my gosh. So okay, so how long do you coach somebody? Does that vary, or okay, that
Yeah,
does
it
vary
varies. It
then.
really depends on where they start at. So, if someone comes to me and they start at zero health, and that again is a very gaming thing. They start at zero
Uh-huh.
health and they want to get to 100. That obviously is going to
Oh,
take a little bit longer,
right.
in terms of building up that habitual practices and the consistency,
Yep.
compared to someone who comes to me and they're like, I actually have really good health, but I
Right.
just want to, prevent myself from having type 2 diabetes, or I want
Yeah.
to, improve my sleep so that I'm more efficient during the day, or I want to lose that little bit of extra weight, but also just become a lot more toned. That I think there's a very big difference between the time periods. And
True.
with any coaching, it's very personalized. You can't really have
True.
a set and
Yeah.
set
Just
and forget
yep.
kind of thing.
No,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing the health coaching?
6 years.
6 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very. So do you have a certain amount that you will coach at a time?
I usually like to work with about 5 to 7 patients, oh, sorry, clients at a time.
Well,
Sorry,
that makes
patients,
sense. No, I can
I'm just being
understand that.
vague. I think any more than that, I just really can't dedicate the amount of time that
Yeah.
I would like with a person and just really get into their psyche and be able to
Yep.
understand them very well. And that's really important to me. Like for me, forming that relationship, as I'm sure with any coach, forming that relationship
Right.
and being able to
Is
actually
yes.
really get in, and make or like facilitate change. It's a process, and
Yep.
Yeah, it's not worth working. I know there are a lot of coaches who will work with a lot of clients, and honestly, like good on them for having that energy. But my energy is just best served with a small amount of clients.
Yeah, and you have to know that, and especially with a 10-month-old, I mean, a lot of your energy to go in there too. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, where do you see your coaching business, everything you're doing, in going in 5 years?
So in 5 years, I really want to be. I have my own podcast, which of course I
Awesome.
will have you as a guest on because
Thank
you
you.
are
I
such an
would look forward
amazing.
to
It's
that.
so fun to have a chat with you.
Oh, I
um,
agree. Thank you. I love talking to you too.
and I would really like to be speaking at conferences around the world, but definitely around Sydney. Just to I think bring that element of coaching to healthcare professionals as well. It's not strictly something I'm doing right now, but I
Okay.
do have the capacity to do it because I do a lot of training in my role as a pharmacist. So
Oh, I can see
um,
that. Yeah.
I would really love to be able to bring that mindset work a little bit more to pharmacy and just be able to pass that on a little bit more. I just
Hmm.
think I just think it's really important for healthcare professionals around the world, everywhere, to be
I
holistic.
Oh, I so
Um,
much agree. So,
yeah,
so okay, over here, I don't know. Do you get some feet or not back? Do they give you a rough time sometimes in the pharmacy industry from doing your holistic? Do you in the United States you might, where people it's like, they kind of on both sides of that. Would they do they give you any rough time about doing the holistic, health, or is it pretty? Are they very supportive? I should say.
oh, they are very supportive. The pharmacy industry is changing in Australia quite a lot, especially since COVID,
Okay.
to become a lot more like not a one-stop shop, but like working together with both the patient and the health, like doctors and things like that, a lot
Oh,
more
so
because
great.
yeah, so it's becoming a lot more integrated as time is passing. So I think they are very, very supportive
That is so
of
good.
being a little bit more holistic, which is, I mean, we've always been like that as pharmacists, but mindset is probably the one place we don't really focus on. So I think that
Okay.
um, could be a really good stepping stone to, I don't know,
Right.
having like greater relationships with, like, say, psychologists and
Oh yeah. Right.
getting, yeah, like being a bridging gap between those two industries as well. So yeah.
Okay, I deal with a lot of people in their 20s that have depression. I mean, I know they've tried medication and stuff. Would you be able to help somebody that came to your pharmacy to get something for for depression? Because most of them they don't like the way it feels, with the medicine. Would
Yeah.
you be able to help them out with otherwise worth what you're
Um,
doing?
So depression's a bit of a hard one. Major depression, no. Major depression is a clinical disorder, which means
I said okay,
like I wouldn't be equipped to help with that. A pharmacist wouldn't be equipped to help with that. But as a health coach, I could give someone who had mild depression or who was on the verge of entering that depressive state
right, right,
techniques and tools to be able to prevent it a little bit.
cool,
And again, it's more complex because depression does also involve a lot of hormones and like underlying changes that
right,
might not always be um, easily
yeah.
fixed just with
With
cognitive behavioral therapy and things like
I see
that.
what you
So
mean.
medication will sometimes always be needed, but
Yeah, yeah.
that being said, with someone who is like, experiencing a big lifestyle change or experiencing something that could be a precursor to depression, yes, I think we are really well positioned as health coaches to, I guess, give people the tools to be able to deal with the big
Okay,
changes and yeah,
very
handle it
cool.
in a different
Oh,
way.
okay, very cool. So, no, anxiety and depression. I just know so many people that are dealing with that, and it's just myself have never, and I can't imagine. I feel for them. That's for sure. So okay, what is something that something you still out there that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
I want to run a retreat. I want to run a retreat.
Okay,
I did
cool.
mention this before. I'm really keen to run a retreat. I don't know where it will be. Probably somewhere near a beach. Um,
Awesome. That beat. That's always great. That's a great way to start out.
and I really want to run a retreat, which is just we just play games or we just do really fun activities. This it's a bit strange, but I like the idea of magic. Um,
Okay, cool.
and there's a there's a lot of activities you can find in books, in like through books and just
Right.
fictional books actually, that almost facilitate mindset change, but they
Nice.
sound crazy. I know
Okay.
it sounds really weird. So, for example,
It's
there's an
interesting.
embalming. I read about this embalming activity where you pretend almost like um, you're dead. And I know that sounds really weird.
Okay, this is interesting though. Very interesting.
So you didn't do in pairs, and one person basically embalms the other person, their
Wow.
face, making sure they can still breathe. Like
Right.
we're not doing anything anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
But the whole process is meant to meant to make you feel like you have died and then you're reborn as a new identity. And I think that actually reflects
Wow.
mindset change quite a lot, because there is a very big element of when you make a mindset change, when you are making a change to your behavior and your habit and your lifestyle, you're
Right.
essentially um, killing off the person you used to be to become this new person.
True.
And it sounds a little bit dark, but I just think like having visual representations and really like hands-on activities like that are just fun. Like for the person who's doing
Yeah.
the embalming, they can be
Right.
creative. They can be, like they can make a paper mache mask of whatever they want. They could, they
Wow.
could do something like the Mexican,
Oh,
like
I
the
I know
Mexican deers. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yes, I do know what you're
Day of
talking
the
about.
Dead ones. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they can be, really creative. They could make it really like skeletal if they wanted to. They could make it like a pirate. I would make it like a pirate. So,
I love it. Oh.
But yeah, on the other side, just facing that unknown a little bit and coming to terms with the fact that, to become a new person, you do have to let go of the old person that you are.
You really
Um,
do.
yeah, so that those kind of activities I think are just amazing because they facilitate change in a way that is not really done so much anymore. We do a lot of meditation and breath work and mindfulness, and that is
Okay.
really important. It's so important. But I think doing those physically involved activities are just next level. They're next level.
Okay.
Um, I will say, I had something I wanted to just quickly add, and I can't remember. It's all good. It'll
I
come back
can
to
relate with
me.
that. I can still relate with that. It's like, okay, it was just on the tip of my tongue. So
Yeah.
okay. So when you meditate, do you do it every day? And how long, if you do it every day, do you meditate? Or does
Um,
it vary?
I will be honest, I'm not a very consistent meditator. That's one of the
Okay.
health habits that I'm not very consistent on, purely because time at the moment. So I did used
Sure.
to
Oh yeah.
meditate every day in the morning for 20 minutes. I had a really great meditation practice by Emily Fletcher, and I
Okay.
thought it was really like quite well-rounded. I, meditation is one of those funny things that it's actually very personalized. Everyone thinks like meditation, you
True.
just sit still and you
Yep.
just be quiet. And actually, that is like I can't meditate like that. So
I, I think that's
I,
very hard because it's like be quiet.
yeah,
It's like my brain is not be quiet. It's just like,
yeah,
oh,
no.
so
And every time I used to hate meditation as a child, actually, because everyone would be like, just sit and empty your mind. And I'm like, my mind is not empty. Like, it's never going to empty. I can't not think of
I,
anything.
I hear you. Oh, do I hear
So
you?
I actually prefer meditation practices that are a little bit more active in the
Okay.
active thing. So I've been experimenting with different forms of meditation, and this one is really good because it actually makes you think of what you are hearing and what each of your senses is doing in that exact moment. So I think it's more a meditation
Wow.
practice that focuses on being present in the moment and still being
I
silent because you are focusing all your energy on one thing,
right.
but it's not just empty your mind. It is you're focusing on what you're hearing, you're focusing on what you're seeing, you're focusing on what you're doing, and I
I
think
like
that
that.
for me personally quiets my mind because I can't sit still.
Me
I'm not
either.
very good at sitting still and doing
No,
nothing.
I like that idea greatly because I think
Yeah.
that I would be more successful because I have the best of intentions and it's just like this is not working because I just. But that I like. I will have to try that. That is That is very interesting. I've never
Yeah.
heard of anybody. So no, I mean that's just. So do you have any pushback from people? Want when you to do meditation? I mean, do people are they pretty receptive to doing that?
Well, that's just one of the types of meditation. Look, I don't really have a lot of pushback. The most pushback I get is people saying, "I've already tried meditation and it doesn't work."
Oh, I suppose.
Um, so that's in mind, like that is something they have to overcome. You do have to
Yep.
take responsibility of for your own change, right? So if you're not
True.
open to be trying new things, like it's very hard to facilitate that change. But when I've actually suggested trying this, no one has. I have had no resistance from someone saying it didn't work for me because you can't like unless you don't have one of the senses, it's very hard not to focus on what your senses are doing. So
Right. That is
yeah,
very true. No, that is
yeah.
extremely true. So I'm going to have to try that. But you said Emily Fletcher. Is that where do you just online or where do you? Is it a
um,
program she has or?
Yeah, so she had a program through Mind Valley.
Oh, Minecraft.
Uh,
Okay, I know
yeah,
that.
I can't remember the program name, but her name is Emily Fletcher, and
Okay.
she's a meditation expert. Like she has studied for years and years and years, and that's just one element of her meditation
Okay.
program. So I actually really like experimenting with different forms of meditation, and the one that I've been looking into recently is active meditation, which
Okay.
is you might have heard of it as like dance meditation. I don't know if they've
Huh. I don't think I know that
yeah.
either. Okay.
So they
So what?
have these forms of meditation where you focus so solely on the action you are doing. It's a bit like mindfulness, but
Okay.
the idea is you get into a flow state and then your mind becomes super focused on that one thing and you're able to quieten the other thoughts around you because you're only focusing on the action and you become almost you almost have like a sixth sense around you because then you are able to
Wow.
anticipate where someone is around you, where the actions are happening around you. Almost like, have you ever heard of those stories where someone who has lost a sense, for example, they're blind,
Right.
and they become so intuitive, they can sense just by like tapping a cane where
Yeah.
objects are around them.
I have
That's
heard
what,
that. Yes, about that. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So that's what active meditation
Oh
is
wow.
kind of like. Yeah, so I'm looking into that at the moment.
I
I
got
think
so
that'll be
many
a
things
really
I
cool
want to
thing to
try
try.
now. Oh, this is cool. I mean, this is so cool. We talked about yesterday. So going a different way. So writing a book. You would
Yes,
like to write a book or sometime in
yes,
the future?
yes. I absolutely love reading. So it's been a dream of mine since I was a kid. A lot of things
That's
but
good.
since I was a kid. But yeah, if I was going to write a book, it would definitely be story based. It wouldn't be information based, which kind of goes against a little bit. I am much better at writing things that are scientific, but the way I
Okay.
learn is through stories. And I think writing a book where I could collate stories about people who are amazing and who have achieved so much and
Right.
who have just made changes in their life suddenly. And it doesn't have to be big stories. Like the rags to riches stories are really great. They're amazing,
Sure.
but
Right. Mm-hmm.
I actually really like stories about people who just make changes quietly. They don't
Yeah.
really make a big fuss about it. They just turn around and then all of a sudden they're a completely different new
Yeah. I
person and they're
think
just really content. And I think those stories are really
I do
inspiring.
too. I think they're very
Yeah.
inspiring. No, no, yeah. It's just before you know it, it's a whole different person there. You don't even hardly realize that. No, I think that is so cool. So do you
Yeah.
have a favorite author?
Yes, I do. My favorite
Yeah.
author is Enid Blyton. I know it's I love her books. I still read her books to today. So she's a children's author. She wrote the
Okay.
Famous Five series. Um, she
Okay.
wrote she wrote like the Naughtiest Girl series. I read her books to today because I just think there are a lot of her books that have a lot of lessons in there that are just so simple and profound, and you don't need to read like the heavy stuff to learn things.
I agree.
Actually, in one of her books, my absolute favorite book is called Mr. Galliano's Circus,
Okay.
and there's a line in it where the main character is listening to a groom tell him about how to tend horses,
Oh
and
wow.
the line is, Jimmy knew this. but he listened carefully because there was always something he could learn from someone who knew more than him. And I just, every time I'm like, no, I know everything about this. I like, I come back to that line and I'm like, no, I don't know everything about this. I can
Yeah,
always learn something new.
that is a great line.
And yeah, and I just think like, just kids' books have so much to teach us. And this
I
goes
would
back to
agree.
I'm a very
I would
childlike
definitely.
person.
No, that's great. I'm the same way because everybody's like, it is, and it's like, childlike rather than childish, and I think that's the way to go through your whole life. I mean, the wonder of life still, and because so many people lose that, the
Yeah,
wanting to learn and all that. I think that's actually, I think that's how you grow, and that's how you really get your dream life because
yeah,
you're just still in awe of life, and I think that is so cool.
yeah.
But so, what else do you do in Sydney?
Ooh, well, there's a lot to do in Sydney. So do you mean just like day-to-day activity kind of, or
Sure,
like
sure.
outing? Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot to do actually. So actually next week I'm going to a national park.
Okay,
And doing a hike down at a beach that is it's well known, but it's a very secluded beach.
okay,
So there's a lot of bushwalks and hikes around Sydney and Australia in general, with the outback.
okay.
But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to do, but I'm just trying to think. It's one of those questions that when you're faced with it, you're just like, I don't know what there is.
So where you're going? Is there any animals you have, or anything you have to watch out that's going to attack you, or anything?
Oh, no, no, no. Okay, that's true outback. If you're gonna go to the true outback, I think I was telling you yesterday,
Uh huh.
in our chat that if you go to the true outback, you really have to be scared of like what is out there because you could come to face to face with like poisonous snakes, poisonous spiders.
Nope, nope,
We do
nope.
our first aid. Yeah, so I'm doing my first aid course next week, and I just remember like that first aid course can be a little bit terrifying because they're
I
like,
bet.
these are all the spiders that can kill you. These are all the jellyfish that can kill you. These are all the snakes that can kill you. And I'm
Wow.
like, oh my God, why do we live in a country where so many things can kill you?
I mean, it looks like a beautiful, awesome country, but yeah, but yeah, it's just, I guess it's something you're aware of. So,
Yeah, it's a very hardy country. All the animals out here are very well equipped to defending themselves. There's the occasional bunny that we do see a lot,
mhm.
that probably, they run away, but then you got like the crocodiles and we got the kangaroos that can like, destroy a car with a kick. So
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those. I mean, they muscular. I mean,
they
so
are muscular.
you have kangaroos where you're at right there?
No, 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 no. I know.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
that's like outside. But
The,
I've seen kangaroos like a lot in my life. If you go down to the south coast of Sydney, they have a lot of areas where kangaroos just wander around the streets.
oh wow.
Yeah, and we went glamping once,
Uh
and it
huh.
was amazing. We walked out of our tent, and there was a joey sitting right in front of our tent
Oh
on the
wow.
car. Yeah, so incredible. I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful.
But he behaved himself and everything,
Oh,
and
he was just relaxing. He was chilling. I was like,
okay,
okay,
was he?
we should just leave him alone. Seems to be really calm right now. But
Oh
we drove across Australia when I was 13, and the dusk was incredible because it's a flat plain, similar to what you were saying about Nebraska. So you can
oh
see
yeah, the
the
Great Plains
whole,
here. Okay.
yeah. So you can basically see for miles and miles, and you
Yep, that
just
does
see
sound like
like the
here.
outline of these like 10 kangaroos hopping across the road. And it's actually something they warn you about because if you hit a kangaroo, your car will be destroyed. They're really strong and they're really heavy. But on the horizon, it's just like you can actually just see like a herd of kangaroos just
Wow.
hopping across the road. It's incredible. It's like a once in a lifetime, experience.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So we have to watch out for hitting deer. So you have to watch out there for hitting kangaroos. Then
Yeah.
okay.
Only if you're in the
Oh,
middle of Australia, but yes, it is
okay.
definitely something to watch out for if you're going on a long trip here, road trip.
So okay, I don't know that much about Australia. I mean, do you have any forest area or anything like that, or mountainous
Um,
areas?
we don't really have mountainous areas so much. We have a lot of national parks.
Okay.
big national parks. Nothing like what you have in America. Like it's Yellowstone,
Oh yeah,
right up
Listen.
there. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
yes, yes.
we don't have anything like that, but we have pockets of rainforests and
Oh, do you?
forest
Okay.
areas. Yeah, so one of the big ones for us is in Queensland, Daintree Rainforest, Daintree National Park.
Okay.
So that is a very tropical. We get a lot of different environments here. So we have a lot of tropical areas up in Queensland. Down in Tasmania is very cold and like harsh winds and stuff like that. And then on the
Okay.
west, we're on the east coast. So on the west coast, that's a lot more like relaxed and mellow and beachy areas. And in the
Okay.
middle is just completely hot, arid desert. So we've pretty much got
Uh,
everything
you
around us
do have
there.
everything there. No,
It's a very
I
self-sufficient country.
yeah, no, I will someday come down there. That is my travel, but it's just such a long flight. And I thought the flight
Yeah.
from Denver, Colorado to Italy was a long flight. I know that's a lot longer flight. So,
Yeah, yeah.
you said we were talking yesterday. You'd been to the United States. How what path did you take to get to the United States?
Um, oh, it was a while. So we did a direct flight to New York. No, we went through
Did
Dubai.
did
I
you?
think we went
Okay.
through Dubai. Yeah. Yeah. So we went through to Dubai, and I think on the way back it was a direct flight. It was a while back.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
got to be a long flight, I would think, on
It was a
that.
long
So.
flight. Yeah, yeah.
No, that is amazing. So, and Dubai, I mean, that looks like an interesting place to visit too. I
It
mean,
does. It does. We actually didn't even get down, but oh my gosh, the souks in Dubai and in Saudi Arabia, I want to go there. Like the sand duning and the souks and like the markets. Oh my, they just look incredible.
yeah, it just from the little bit I've seen, it looks definitely like another one on my list to travel to
Yeah.
travel. That's for sure. So,
Yes.
so, and sometimes you'll just need to come to the Great Plains, and have you been to Yellowstone when you said that?
No, I really
Oh,
want to. So I
that's
really
an
want to do a
amazing
driving
place.
tour. Yeah, driving tour. I want to see the Grand Canyon. I actually want to come to the middle and south of America to do food tours. I think the
Oh,
food will
that'd
be
be
incredible.
awesome.
Yeah, the barbecue there. Oh my gosh,
Yep.
I'm
Oh
very
yeah.
excited for that.
Barbecue is so good, yeah. Especially when you get down there where they specialize in that. So, so
Yeah.
that is so cool. So, but well, Sandy, anything else before we end the podcast that you would like the audience to know that what's going on, or how they anything like that? Anything further?
So if you want to know more about what programs I run or anything like that, just check out my website. And if you want to know about the challenges I'm having, I will have my Facebook group advertising them as well.
Okay,
But I'm really keen to be working with people, and yeah, I'd really love to just connect with a few people, and even
awesome.
maybe yeah, connect with you again sometime as well. So yeah.
Okay, that sounds very good. So, I will look forward to that. So, so on that, Sandy, thanks for being the guest on the Dreamcatcher podcast today. I look forward to being on your podcast and maybe having you back on a follow up as things are going along and touch base there. And if that would be cool, we'll just plan on that. And
Sounds like a plan.
I know you're just starting your day, so have a good Sunday.
Thank you.
And thanks again for joining us. And until next time, take care.
No worries. Thanks, Mark. Lovely chatting.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.